around 65 million from July 1st until September 30. That's the third quarter.
Of
By the end of the end of the third quarter. So the total we are expecting to receive this year is 171 million
Olive oil.
population of the Philippines. And the money is already available for that. Okay, so there is no problem with the money for this year. Okay. Now for next year, we just had a meeting with Secretary Abisado and Secretary Duque yesterday, and we noted that we have in the budget for next year already 45 million. And we noted, just to assure you yourself, Mr. President, and the health community, we do have the money for that. Now, the question is, how do we use that money? Are we going to need booster shots? Are we going to need another set of vaccinations? Whatever it is, please tell us so that we can properly allocate these funds. So, Mr. President, I don't think we're good only until 6 months. I think we are good beyond 2022. Okay, so it's nothing it is not going to be easy, but the moves that you have made from 2016 to 2019, we are ready to handle this problem financially. And that is due to you, Mr. President. So, again, to summarize, we will be, by the end of this year, we will be able to vaccinate the entire adult population of the Philippines. Hopefully, everybody will agree to be vaccinated. Number two, for next year, we already have 45 billion pesos in the budget and already financed for whatever the DOH is going to recommend, Mr. President.
Ang problema ko may isa pa. I've been hearing Senators Lacson, if I'm not mistaken, I forgot the other, Soto, that we are underspending sa bayanihan. Totoo ba ito? Is this true?
Mr. President, according to the DBM, we have already released 660 billion pesos. Okay? 660 billion. What they are referring to as quote-unquote underspending is 6 billion pesos or 1% of the total. Now, we are, the Department of the Budget and ourselves are going to each department to see where the 6 billion is. But Mr. President, this is 1% problem. It is not, and in relation to what we have released of 660 billion, this is 1%, okay? And we are sure that it will be released, but in the meantime, we are asking each department to really push the expense, to really spend the money.
The problem is, one thing very wrong with Congress is that they are not listening when you are talking. So, it would be better to give it a little shout.
Yes.
Totoo. Yung sa Bisaya, tira pasagad. Paski saan na lang tatama. That them that 1%. Nakakaano kasi because the criticism is always on the executive department. Tayo yung nag-execute sa law. So I say that you are not spending the money correctly because there's underspending and it turns out it's only 1%. I'd like to tell Congress now that when Secretary Dominguez is talking to you, please listen. Walang ano yan. There's no malice in that statement, pero makinig kayo para hindi kayo doon yung Bisaya, tira pasagad. Yung basta lang tatamaan yung buwan. So, is there any other guy in the panel would like to Secretary Roque?
Thank you, Mayor. Tatanong ko lang po yung mga eksperto, no? Kasi ngayon po, ngayong meron ng local transmission na na-confirm ang Delta, nag-declare po tayo ng GCQ with heightened restrictions sa Metro Manila, sa apat pang mga probinsya. Tapos, kinancel na po natin yung naunang IATF resolution na po pwede na lumabas ang mga bata. So, hindi na po sila uli po pwedeng lumabas. At saka nag-impose na po ang MMDA ng curfew na mas mahaba, 10 to 4, no?
Yes.
Juan Lopez. Yeah. Permission to talk?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. President, mga kasama. Actually, the way we are handling this right now, I believe that we were willing to sacrifice a bit yung ating yung economic mobility by immediately doing this GCQ with heightened restrictions. The moment it was reported to us na may tumami yung cases ng Delta variant, kaya nga po about 2 days ago, from what we just enjoyed na GCQ, umatras ulit tayo sa GCQ with heightened restriction. But we appreciate also the good balancing act of the IATF with the help of the health expert na yung ating restriction nakafocus lang karamihan dito sa mga non-essential activities na pinabawasan natin. Especially itong mga sinasabing super spreader events, bawal talaga at pinapahinto natin yung mga non-essential activities. But what is important, to the extent possible, we are allowing economic activities to continue. I think that is very important, Mr. President. Hindi naman natin pinasara lahat ng mga operations ng mga exporters, mga BPOs, mga manufacturing. Tuloy-tuloy po ito, and that is, I think, the balance that we are managing here, Mr. President. As long as they all follow minimum health protocol standards, ma-maintain natin, hopefully, itong momentum that we are enjoying right now na nakakabawi naman ang ating economy tulad po ng tinatanong nyo kanina, unti-unti na pong nakakabangon. At least with this quick reaction natin na magbalanse ka agad, umatras ng kaunti, wag parang hindi umabot sa mas matagal or mas malalang situation tulad ng Delta variant sa ibang bansa, ay hopefully ma-maintain natin itong balance and to allow the economy to continue at nakafocus yung opening sa economy, hindi po sa mga non-essential activities. So yun po yung I think the observation that we're trying to emphasize right now. It's really finding that balance and close working relationship with the experts and the economic team, Mr. President.
Anybody else?
I'll brief on the effects on Southwest monsoon enhanced by tropical cyclone Fabiani, as well as update on the volcano situation and earthquake early this morning is 6.7 magnitude earthquake in Great Epicenter in Calatagan, Batangas. First, on the two hydrometeorological events that system that affected Archipelago. First is the Southwest monsoon, which actually started way back in June and probably will extend up to sometime October or November. And the southwest monsoon is bringing migrates to mostly the western part of the archipelago, or of western side of Luzon. And other weather event is tropical cyclone Papian, which is, although the front is way north of the archipelago, its location is somewhere between Taiwan and Japan. It is enhancing the southwest monsoon, thereby we are receiving more rains as the normal due to the southwest monsoon, resulting from flooding in several parts of the sun. The next slide, please. This is the timeline for the development of Typhoon Pabian. It was detected by Pag-asa last 16 July as a low pressure area. It was developed into tropical depression, then tropical storm, then severe tropical storm, into typhoon activity last 20 July. And the transition is from its development as an LPE within the Philippine area of responsibility. It traveled generally northwest towards the direction of mainland China, passing through the seas between Japan and Taiwan. Again, enhanced the southwest monsoon that affected our archipelago. Next slide, please. This is the weather outlook we received from Pag-asa for the next week. For Baguio, it will have rainy days up to Tuesday next week. And for Metro Manila, we expect to have fair weather starting tomorrow, Sunday. Lawan City will still have some rainy days up to Wednesday next week. That's right. And here are the effects monitor from the southwest monsoon and tropical cyclone Fabian. The magnitude 6.7 earthquake in Calatagan report early this morning at about 4:49 in the morning. This epicenter was in Calatagan, Batangas. Its highest intensity recorded was based on the Pibos earthquake. The jet intensity scale is 5, which is categorized as strong. It affected 4 regions, so mainly Region 3, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, and NCR. And we did not receive any major damage, only minor ones from Lubang, such as collapse of seawall and river wall, and damages to 2 houses. However, the local government units are still continuing conducting their damage assessment and needs analysis. Also, there was no recommendation for any intervention from the national government agencies and even from the regional government agencies. So this is my update as a president of the effects of Southwest monsoon and tropical cyclone Fabian on the status of that volcano and the effects of that 6.7 magnitude earthquake in Calatagan. So that's all, Mr. President.
Gusto ko lang malaman kay when will be the new classification sa quarantine be published o kao?
Sir, may bago po tayong quarantine classification for NCR and 4 other provinces, Ilocos Sur, Ilocos Norte, Davao del Sur, and Davao de Oro, to GCQ with heightened restrictions beginning July 23 to 31st. We will meet next week, Mr. President, for the August 1 to 15 community quarantine classification. We will ask for your approval, sir.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Now I'd like to ask Charlie this time. Secretary Delves, the one thing that I have noticed sa tawag lang sa cellphone, those who can connect with me when I was in Davao, many local government units are desperately asking for additional bakuna. There's a strong upsurge of in places like Iloilo, Bacolod, Cagayan, Agusan. So, kindly tell us what we should be doing to hinihingi nila ng bakuna nagpapadagdag nga Bacolod this one. The mayor there is asking for more. So when can we accommodate them with the sufficient vaccines at this time?
Sir, actually, sir, with the clamor of many LGUs, we assess that we need to increase our monthly delivery from 20 to 25, because we saw that there is really a great uptake already for many LGUs, and we saw that many provincial governors and also mayors are already prepared for the vaccination of their targeted individuals. I have some presentation, Mr. President,
Good.
if you will allow me to present. Sir, as you can see in the picture, that our population is really ready. Most of them are even lining. Can you give the first slide? Sir, as you can see in this picture, this is one of the picture that we saw that they're lining up. Even they are ibig sabihin natin, sir, nakikita natin rain or shine, day or night. Talagang wala pong let up yung delivery at administration ng ating mga vaccines.
Sir, may cut you there. Actually, mukhang hindi tayo nagkulang sa bakuna. The problem is for the local governments to come up with a more sane process of vaccination than allowing people to queue as early as 4 o'clock in the morning and getting their shots at about 9 o'clock. It seems to be, to me, it's not the way to vaccinate people. Nakita ko yung kanina sa umaga. I was still awake. I was signing the documents of government. Nakita ko na sa na yung iba well itong mga media did always want to exploit news, and they were already talking about leptospirosis. Well, kasama yan, but yung cold, people are exposed in the open, unprotected from the elements, tapos waiting for get a chance to have this shot. Mga 3 to 4 hours magtindig dyan, sir. Sabagay, baha kasi ngayon eh. They could just have look for another auditorium there or somewhere to do it. Can I request the Secretary of Local Government to just enjoin them, maybe a directive to enjoin them to be more circumspect and not to, especially now that the southwest monsoon is passing the country. Na hindi ganito ang ano, it's not the way how to do it. They have to be more proactive than just maybe setting a venue then without the mechanism of how to transfer it and at the same time informing the people of the new site. But itong ganito, and waiting as early as 4 o'clock in the morning, tignan mo yung para bang to me it is not it's bullshit actually. Kapag ganun ang ginagawa mo sa Pilipino, if you cannot do it in a place where there is roof to cover your heads,
Computer skills required.
naku, Diyos ko po. Bakit naman ganun ang why can't they just look for another last minute? I said the other the end of the line is the government there. Na they should be flexible enough to immediately look for a place now which is dry and which can house so many people, and dividing them into groups and make a head count of how many they can time and motion nila sa pagbakuna, how many they can inoculate, tapos pabalikin nila lang yung iba rather than let them wait there. It's a question of common sense eh. Hindi na nila ginamit doon, hinati na sana nila, divide it into half and telling the others to report for another for their vaccines at another hour, and look for a place, I said, where people are protected from the elements of the climates. Kaawa naman. I would say that I would question the mayor and the barangay captain. Kaya nga dapat talaga sa barangay captain, because it is the barangay captain who would act as the marshal ba na babantayan yung mga tao. Eh si barangay captain there sa mga tao na. Pero yung ganon, I may also overshoot my comments there. Dito ko, sinabi na basta open to everybody and anybody. Ang problema, yung crowding. People would respond to the announcement that inoculation shall be given to those who are there on the site, but not taking into account, I said, the amount of time and emotion to do it, and making them go back. You come back to some at some other hour, and on top of that, really, the most important thing is to look for a dry place. Yan, sana tatama yan. Leptopyrosis, then you have the influenza, then you have the respiratory. Pag tinamaan pa yan ng pagka tinamaan niya ng simple cold, it can deteriorate into a respiratory problem. Pag sinakyan ng COVID, patay na. So, I'd like to have a rule said that to encourage them to not to use that kind of setup, even if it is numbered in the inoculation, or it is just given to anybody who's there who wants it. It has to take into account the weather now and the place that where they should be waiting for. That ought not to be repeated, I suppose. Kawawa yung tao. Anybody else would want to? Then, Malcolm, you have something? Well, you know, one thing going in our favor is really in other countries, they are having riots about the bakuna. In Indonesia, in some parts of sa France. But about ito, we are better off because our citizens are really law-abiding citizens, and you can tell by the response of the people. We have yet to see a raucous there somewhere regarding the vaccination process. Wala tayong mga yan, nagra-riot yung iba eh. Dito, wala naghihintay. Nakakaawa yung the picture that you saw. That ought not to be repeated. I would task the Secretary of Local Government to, I don't know how we would do it, but find a solution to the problem. So, my papasalamat o tangaloob ko sa inyo na tinutulungan ninyo kami, lalo na yung mga experts, the doctors, our scientists, and the people who have, because we do not have enough time to see Secretary Lorenzana keeps on looking at his watch. Pa may dito sa peripheral. So kung wala na, maraming salamat po sa inyo, and I hope that we can call upon you to this kind of I know that it can be tiring, not boring. But I said there are some other entities of government who should be made aware of, so that they can make the preparations if things get really worse. Alam mo, you can set the date, you can propose, but it is God who disposes. So let us pray that the weather, the political weather and the weather of climate change will be kind to us. Thank you very much. Good night.